She is the daughter of a mafia boss, but every day she suffers bullying at school. One day, just as she returns to the classroom, she finds her seat covered in chalk dust. The school bully, who clearly doesn't know who he's dealing with, stands nearby mocking her. At that moment, Ji-Yu's pent-up anger finally explodes. However, the bully is no pushover either. Weighing over 100 pounds with the strength of a bear, she slaps Ji-Yu several feet away with one hit. But she severely underestimated this seemingly frail girl. As the daughter of a mafia boss, Ji-Yu had been doing hundreds of push-ups and sit-ups daily since childhood, while also learning martial arts from her father. In no time, she knocks the bully's minions to the ground. But the bully doesn't fight fair. She pulls out a sharp box cutter and lunges at Ji-Yu, who easily dodges and grabs the bully's head, smashing it against the teacher's desk, knocking her out cold. Seeing the other students trembling in fear, Ji-Yu drops her act. She rips off her school badge and name tag, handing them to the teacher, who rushes in and declares she's quitting school. Without looking back, she walks out of the classroom. As she steps out of the school gates, she kicks off the side mirror of a police car. If it weren't for them, her identity wouldn't have been exposed, and she wouldn't have faced all the ostracism and bullying. It turns out Ji-Yu's father is wanted by the police. Unable to catch him, they've been surveilling her 24/7, and soon everyone knew about it, making her the subject of gossip and ridicule. After venting her frustration, Ji-Yu, exhausted, returns home only to receive a rare call from her father. It's her birthday, and her father apologizes for not being there to celebrate with her, promising he'll come back as soon as things settle down. But Ji-Yu no longer wants to hear it. She unleashes all her pent-up anger and frustration on him, telling him not to come back and to consider himself dead. Little did she know, those words would haunt her for the rest of her life. Heartbroken over how his daughter had suffered because of him, her father took a huge risk that night, sneaking back home. After incapacitating the police officers on guard, he was just a door away from seeing his beloved daughter. But as he inserted the key into the lock, a masked figure suddenly appeared behind him. At the same time, Ji-Yu, hearing the noise, came to open the door, only to be greeted by the sound of gunshots. Her father, using the last of his strength, broke the key off in the lock, his final act to protect his daughter. When Ji-Yu finally forced open the door, she found her father riddled with bullets, lying lifeless in a pool of blood. At his funeral, the gang's leader and her father's sworn brother, Choi Moo-jin, came to pay his respects. But Ji-Yu only wanted to know one thing: who killed her father? Choi, however, seemed reluctant to get her involved. But how could Ji-Yu stand by and watch her father's death go unavenged, since her father was already a wanted criminal and there were no eyewitnesses? The police quickly closed the case, even blaming Ji-Yu for not convincing her father to turn himself in. Overwhelmed with guilt, knowing her harsh words led to his death, Ji-Yu vowed to avenge him. She went straight to Choi Moo-jin, begging him to help her find the killer so she could take revenge herself. To her surprise, Choi, known for his cold demeanor, handed her a knife and told her to stab him, pretending he was the killer. Ji-Yu was stunned, unable to move. Choi grabbed the knife back and slapped her hard, knocking her to the ground. The slap was to make her realize the harsh reality. This was not something a high school girl could handle alone. But Ji-Yu didn't give up. She plastered reward posters all over the city, determined to find the killer her own way. Her persistence finally paid off when she received a call from someone claiming to know the truth. Ji-Yu rushed to meet the informant, bringing the reward money, but it was a setup. Not only did they steal the money, but they also beat her up and threw her in the trunk of a car, planning to sell her into prostitution. When the trunk finally opened again, to her surprise, it was Choi Moo-jin standing in front of her. He had been secretly watching over her the whole time. Impressed by her resilience, he decided to give her a real chance at revenge, but first, she would have to become much stronger. Choi sent her to a training gym run by the gang, where thugs were molded into hardened fighters. In this brutal environment, where only the strongest survived, Ji-Yu, as the only girl, was immediately targeted and humiliated by the gangsters.